Coach, EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the Lone Star State in the very mammoth AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Minnesota Vikings and the Dallas Cowboys. Two teams here, each off to 1-0 starts as this one is underway on EA Sports. Fielded about a yard deep. They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. They'll try and start this drive in the air. And incomplete to open things up.
As a general rule, receivers love the comeback route because it puts them right in the sight lines of the guy throwing the ball. But in this case, the defender saw it and were able to knock it away.
From the 24, they'll go again on 2nd and 10.
Watch the safety creep. Deuce.
Gonna give this time to the tailback. It'll be a pickup of 5, and that leaves them with 5 more. 3rd and 5 now.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Third play here, this opening drive, as they're up against a 3rd and 5. They'll look to throw. Man open, Rice. An excellent pickup of 20 yards. And on this first drive, looks like they want to get that vertical passing game going early.
And they did, and what a warning shot they just fired. If you're not going to back up and play coverage deep, we're going to attack you all game long. And once you adjust to that and you start to back off, then that opens things up underneath. A really nice start for them. Great way to get the game going.
Switch. Watch safety creep.
Now they try the right side here. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down.
Here we go. Hey, hold on. Yeah. You don't want none. Check nickel.
2nd and 13. Dancing to his left. And an alley to run. Oh, he sheds him. And he fumbled it. It's on the ground. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings' 32-yard line.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid game. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5.
You can't block me. You can't block me. You can't block me. Check 52.
Now they'll pitch it out here. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. It goes as a loss of 6. And now 3rd down. The 7th play now of this opening drive. This is 3rd and long, though. He may try and run for this. And he'll be brought down at the 28, and that is well short of the first. Give him 5 on the QB run, but it's going to bring up a 4th down. And this one is right down the middle. And the Cowboys are going to jump out to a 3-0 lead. So the opening drive does yield points, maybe not the 7 they wanted, but they'll take the 3.
Accumulating first downs does not go up on the scoreboard, but it does go into the DNA of a team that's trying to establish itself to start a game. That has to feel pretty good for them. They'll take the 3.
Yeah, they had 3 first downs and 3 points.
You can't block me.
Now a run on first down is not going to get off the ground as they will get him behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of 3. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here, and that'll make this a 2nd and 13.
Here we go, here we go. 90 Wolf. Hey, box drop, box drop. Get it.
Now this time he'll look to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
2 plays so far, a run and a pass attempt, and both have gone backwards.
Probably not how they drew that up.
Not at all.
Looking for a better play coming up on 3rd.
Smooth.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And he's going to go down. Back at his own 5-yard line, it's a sack.
And we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop him.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a start and comes through clean, oftentimes the advantage definitely goes to the defensive player.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. Good yardage as he rumbles for 24 and a first. Got to give a nod of appreciation to some of those guys up front over on that left side. Several key blocks sprung him.
No appreciation for the guys from the backside that didn't allow any leakage, and anybody could run him down from the backside.
They're at the kids' table.
Okay, so front side guys good, backside guys,
man,
that's what you're supposed to do.
I've had better.
Okay, either way, worked out quite well, didn't it? A nice sizable game.
And he'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. A great effort there. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Cowboys, they push out in front further. Extra point right down the middle. And the lead grows to 10-0. Now after the touchdown, here's Pinheiro to kick it off. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll wind up getting an extra couple yards here for his trouble as he'll bring this one out to the 27. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And on the first drive, 3 and out. And I know that these are professional athletes, but I would imagine sometimes you get the nerves at the beginning of the game still, don't you?
Those don't ever go away. And typically what I've heard from guys and what I remember from playing, if you don't have nerves at the start of a game, it's not going to be a great day for you. You're not really ready to play. So finding a way to harness those nerves and not let them affect you in a negative way, that's what all the guys are looking for.
And he'll get about 4 across the 30 to the 32.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
On the set.
Check, 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 check. Check, check, check.
On 3rd down, Boyce. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. It'll be a gain of 4, but it won't be enough. It leaves him with a 4th down now. And how about this one now? In their own territory, a gutsy call. They're going to go for this on 4th and a yard. They'll try and run for it. And I think we've got a hold here. It's a 5-yard pickup for the moment. Let's see what our referee says. So some holding over on the left side of that O-line.
And I know for the guys trying to move those big defensive people, they'd love for them to stay in one spot. But they move around so quick and so fast that sometimes you just have to grab them.
The Vikings send out their punter as he'll punt it away for the second time. He gets this away. It's a good one, drawing toward the sidelines. And this one goes angling out of bounds, and it will be spotted inside the 30-yard line. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
14 yards, good for a Cowboy first down. And he'll give it here to his running back. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And they give this time to the tailback. He's got a first down and then some inside the 40. Touchdown, Cowboys! A great play there. With his second touchdown of the game, 4th of the year. And the Cowboys, they push out in front further. Extra point splits the uprights. And that makes our score 17-0. Now after the touchdown, here's Pinheiro to kick it off. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he probably should have stayed in the end zone as he'll muster a return up to only the 14-yard line.
Well, conventional football 101, tells us if you don't get it back to the 20-yard line on a kickoff return, that's a disappointment. But some of these special teams coaches, with approval by the head coach, they give them full authority to go ahead and bring it out and try to be aggressive. Almost what we call the green light, red light theory. Green light means go, red light means stop. Looks like he had green on that play.
It's a gain of 11 as the Vikings pick up the first. On first down, a running play ends up going backwards as he won't get close to the line of scrimmage. In fact, he's going to lose 4 yards. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. A reminder, coming up at halftime, we'll head to Orlando. Standing by there, Jonathan Coachman. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL in his second week of the regular season. Now a deep ball there on second down, but it'll wind up incomplete.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the second quarter. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Now the Cowboys going to burn the first of their timeouts. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. And he uncorks a beauty. Best of the day. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. They have to be pleased with the way that they've moved the football thus far.
And why wouldn't they be? 2 touchdowns on a field goal in their first 3 possessions. They're playing so well right now, the field goal probably feels...
And he will go down outside of the pocket for a sack. Tried to get away, but could not. Tech McKinley made his way into the backfield.
Well, maybe that can give him a little bit of a pick-me-up, a little bit of a jolt. One of the few things has gone right defensively.
Because other than that, it's really been a first half to forget. Now, following the sack, they'll come up here on a second down and 12. Now a handoff looking right. And an alley to run. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Give him 15 there, and the Cowboys have a first. They'll look to throw now on first down. Steps away to his left. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags. Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that would look pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line.
A loss of 2 brings us second and 12. The 27-yard line.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for third down.
That's a gain of 10. Brings us third and 10.
They'll go to the air here on third and 2. And he's got Givens. And they corral him just a couple yards shy of the end zone. Now here's a timeout as they're going to get it with 8 seconds remaining here in the first half. Here's first and goal, and gosh, points here, a chance maybe to put this thing away before halftime. They'll try and run for it on first and goal. And he'll get in. Touchdown, Cowboys. A great effort there in the final seconds of the first half. And the Cowboys, they push out in front further. Point after, right down the middle. And the route is on here in this first half. Now after the touchdown, here's Pinheiro to kick it off. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have stayed where he was, as he'll only get back to the 16-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
The Cowboys will get the football first here, and they have the lead as well as we are underway in quarter 3. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And that first half, one to forget really on both sides of the ball. They got to find some way to string something together here, don't they?
Yeah, they're down big right now. So as you mentioned, trying to find something to string together, get some consistency, something sustained, maybe calm their whole team down and find a way to get back in this one.
Yeah, because right now you're down big, you're being shut out. Let's see if this is the drive that kind of kickstarts them. On first down, Boyce. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 12 yards there, first down Vikings.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
He'll look to throw. And an alley to run. And this one will be returned to right around the 38-yard line. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
And he's going to get this inside the 30. 11 yards and a Cowboy first down.
First and 10 at the 26-yard line.
Running Passing game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. Second and right at a yard.
And he continues to pile up the yardage. That puts him over $150 now. And this defense has really had its problems trying to keep him contained.
The previous run, good for 9. Here's second and a yard. Oh, he tried to pitch it, and the ball's loose. So it goes as a fumble, but the key thing, not a fumble loss.
Yeah, that stat's big, isn't it? I mean, I remember watching teams play. The ball might be on the ground a number of times during the game, but the other team doesn't get it. That's a huge difference in the ball game. And in this case, they were able to retain possession.
He'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And he picks up the first down yardage as he takes it down to the 16. 2 yards and able to get the first down in the process. They'll run on first down. Stevens. And this play gets blown up. They'll lose yardage. Back at the 17. Second and 11. And he's got it. Sets him up nicely. First and goal. It was a pickup of 14.
First and goal at the 2-yard line.
Set, ready, 6-yard. No.
They'll try and run for it on first and goal. Nothing doing there. They're going to wind up holding him at the 2. No gain there, and it's going to set up second and goal.
Leads to second and goal at the 2-yard line.
They'll try to run this one in. And he pushes forward but comes up short of the goal line as he'll get a yard down to about the 1. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive. They'll try to run this one in. And he will take it in for a Cowboy score. Punching it in from a yard away as his guys continue to pour it on. And that rushing touchdown, his 4th, puts him just 1 shy of the NFL record in a single game.
And we all know he would love to get to that record and even beyond it. But he doesn't need to in order to impress in this one, does he? What a performance. What an absolute great game that he's had here in this one.
And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line.
At their own 24-yard line.
Let's go.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go.
Nowhere to go. Here he lost the football. And it's picked up by the Cowboys. And this is going to be brought back for a fumble return touchdown by the Cowboys. So the defense forces the fumble. They get the score. And a guy on defense becoming offensive there, Charles.
And you know they love that. Any guy on defense loves to pick up the ball and have it in his hands and try and score himself. In this case, that's exactly what happened.
He'll be singing in the shower postgame. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And that last possession, really a gut punch. You seemingly had it working. You were in the midst of a very strong drive, and suddenly And now this is intercepted. My goodness. Picked off at about the 31. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Cowboy defense has a touchdown. This D wanted to put it away before we even get to the 4th quarter, widening that margin a bit further.
And while they won't just empty the bench just yet, If you're a backup, start loosening up. I think you'll get a chance to play before this one is over now with that type of a cushion.
This is fielded at the goal line.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this.
Hey, echo.
3 buzz, 3 buzz. 54 is Mike, 54 is Mike. Check, check, watch 54, watch 54. Hey, defense, hey, defense.
They'll drop the throw. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Mills. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. 17 yards, first down, Vikings. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Back now in Arlington. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair.
Hey, come on, no, come on, no.
Buzz. Shoot.
Back to throw now on 1st down. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Jalen Smith. Credit him with a sack as he buries him for a loss of 10. And the job becomes twice as difficult now. After the sack, it's 2nd and 20.
They gonna need some therapy after this. Tight dog, tight dog, tight dog.
Hey, rock it. Ready?
Looking to throw. He's going to float this one deep right side. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off at the 45. And his guys will take over at their own 44-yard line. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup, let him get some time?
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. These guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line, tackled there. It's a gain of 12, and the Cowboys pick up the first.
Number 50. Check, check.
And he'll give it here to his running back. Making the stop there, Danielle Hunter.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Now they'll pitch it out here. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. 11 yards and a Cowboy first down.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
And now he'll tuck it and run. Only a yard on the keeper, and it'll be 2nd down.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old-school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. Was that 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive, and like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. And he is into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. A great play there with his first career NFL touchdown as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. Extra point right down the middle, and the lead will swell by one more. Now after the touchdown, here's Pinheiro to kick it off. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And, okay, all right, I'm being facetious here. But you get points. You feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
Give him 7 on the play, and it'll be a second down.
Alpha.
2nd and 3. Going up top. And that is incomplete, but a penalty flag is down. This could possibly be a push-off. Looked like some hands both ways. They got it on the offense.
And sometimes there's a fine line between being the receiver and the DB, and he knocked that one away. Might have caused an incompletion that could have been an interception.
Hey, wahoo!
Right there. 54, right there.
Back to throw. Forced out to his left. And he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here. He throws it away. And now it's 3rd. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense is well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front.
And he's taken to the ground, but he was pulled down by the face mask. Here come the flags. And I believe this is going to be a first down. Maybe a critical mistake at this juncture is now they've got a 1st and 10. And they give this time to the tailback. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8.
Watch the run. Watch the run.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. So a nice job to break the 1 tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. They'll get 5 on the dump-off there, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. And he's going to have a first down as he's brought down at the 44-yard line. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well.
Go! 15 line. 15 line. Hey, Delta, on the ball. Ready?
On first down, he'll drop to throw. Rush coming, and he's taken down.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. 2nd and 15. Under pressure again, and down he goes again.
That right now, that's a defeated team out there. I think you can see it totally in their body language.
Hands on hips, heads low. It's just been a struggle from the start.
Yeah, this team has been thoroughly beaten right from the word go.
Go! Five!
They'll set up a throw. Looking left side, and it's complete. And he's going to have another first down here as the tackle's made at the Cowboys' 38-yard line. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 30. So for Dallas, it's a win here in their home opener as they move to 2-0. And they will hit the road next week for a date with the New Orleans Saints. Meanwhile, for Minnesota, they'll fall to 1-1. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week.